The opinions expressed in this show are the views of the host and not necessarily that of WTRW, 94.3 The Talker, or the Bold Gold Media Group.
The following presentation is paid for by Century 21 Jack Ruddy Real Estate, who is solely responsible for its content. Portions transcribed.
All Century 21 real estate offices are independently owned and operated.
Hi, I'm Jackie Ruddy, broker Century 21 Jack Ruddy Real Estate. Welcome to the Real Estate Roundtable on 94.3 FM The Talker. I am here with my co-host, husband, fellow realtor, Pat Devaney. Good morning.
Good morning, Jackie.
How are you, Pat?
I'm very good. How are you?
I'm wonderful. We have with us the Dime Bank. We have Rory McGee and Melanie Seagraves. Rory is Vice President, Banking Relationship Officer. Melanie is Vice President, Mortgage Loan Originator. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Thanks, guys, for being here with us. We're here every Saturday at 11 a.m., Sunday at 11:30 a.m., where we discuss real estate. We have a full-time real estate office with many exceptional realtors who've been listing, selling, and appraising real estate for 50-plus years.
During the week, feel free to email us with any questions you have at questions@jruddy.com. That's questions@jruddy.com, or you can give us a call at 570-344-6724. And when you go to jruddy.com, click on the webcam tab and get a live view of Dunmore Corners and see what's going on.
Look us up on social media, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, and Pinterest. View our listings, search the MLS listings, and listen to archive radio shows by going to mobile-friendly jruddy.com, jruddy.com. And don't forget about the podcast. This radio show is featured on a podcast. All the popular podcast apps that you can find us on are listed on jruddy.com. Okay. Before we reintroduce our guests, I'd like to say hello to Al Cibio. I recently ran into Al, and he reminded me how much he really loves this show. And thank you for that, Al, because that makes it all worth it. I love to hear from people that I run into that they are a loyal listener. So thank you, Al, for your support.
And Teresa, at the garage sale, I was over there. I was talking to her about something. She goes, I know your voice.
Yeah, you never met Teresa before,
but
she when you were talking.
Yeah, she was.
Well, funny. I hate to tell you, Pat, you think you lost your accent.
I have. Nobody can tell.
No.
Nobody knows.
But you have not.
I am a
lost
lifetime Dunmorian. What do you think of that? How does that sound? No? No, don't believe it? Okay. All right.
Okay. The Dime Bank. Rory McGee, Melanie Seagraves, both are vice presidents with the Dime. Can you give me a little overview of the Dime Bank and who you are, please?
Sure. Yeah. Well, we've been a bank 118 years, founded in Honesdale, started in 1905, and we're a full-service bank. We can do anything that the bank down the street can do, and we like to say we do it better.
But you guys are separate from the Dime Savings Bank of New York, right? You're not those guys.
Commonly confused.
Right, because I was going to say I had my first savings account as a kid at the Dime Savings Bank in Brooklyn on 9th Avenue and 5th Street. So, but that's not you.
Well, we commonly get phone calls from Dime Savings Bank customers looking for balance information, and we're commonly redirecting them to where they should be. But we're a small bank, a local bank, a community bank, and we really take a lot of pride in building relationships, and that's essentially who we are.
Okay. And you have 9 locations?
9 locations. We go as far north as Damascus, and we've recently opened a new office in downtown Scranton at the Steamtown Marketplace.
Good.
Come and see us.
You're growing.
Yes, we are.
All right. Because, not too long ago, there was this whole thing about all the banks were going to go down in the country. Did you hear about that?
We sure did. And we got a lot of those phone calls as well. Fortunately for us, we're a well-capitalized bank, and our nature as a small bank has really been favorable for us in this environment because we have a good cash position, liquidity, and we're a strong bank that is not subject to what some of these other banks are going through.
Okay. Good to know. And it's good to get that out there. Maybe that'll spare you some phone calls.
Yeah, hope so.
Okay. Well, you're here today to talk about mortgages. And so with the current state of the housing market, What's going on with mortgages? Could you talk to me about what advice you have for people looking to buy a home right now, please?
Sure. So, we're seeing that a lot of the inventory has kind of, slowing down, and we're trying to work with our customers and talk to them about maybe the positive side of getting a mortgage versus renting. Trying to talk to them about some of the programs that we have. Some of the difficulties that we find are that maybe people don't have a lot of funds to put down. They're looking for some programs. We've got some great programs like USDA where we can do 100% financing. We've got Home Possible that we can do 97% financing. So we're trying to talk to them about opportunities that they have and what we can do to help them get into a home versus renting. We've also got a program that we are participating in called First Front Door. So that is basically for someone who falls into the category of a lower to medium income. There are certain areas and there's different income maximums that they need to qualify for. But basically it will give you, help you with funding up to $5,000 of either funding or down payment. So basically for every dollar that you put towards your down payment or closing costs, they'll match $3 up to $5,000. So it's a really great program that we're working with.
This is an exclusive program with the Dime Bank, or could someone get this anywhere?
You can get it with other banks. It is a program that is opened to other financial institutions. We have been participating in this program for quite some time.
So you know the ins and outs.
We do.
Okay.
Yes.
So who qualifies for First Front Door?
So basically what we do is you only have to have a pre-qualification. You don't have to have a home picked out. Once we have that pre-qualification, we take a look at their income. There is a 80% of the median income for the different areas. So it depends on the county that they're purchasing in. And we basically will qualify them. We submit their application. Within 10 days, we have an answer of whether they qualify or not. And then they have 6 months from the time of approval to go out and actually find a home. So then it gives them the opportunity, it's when they're unsure of, I want to look for a home, I don't have a lot down, do I have some avenues where I can get some funding for closing costs? It's a comfort for them to know I'm going out, I'm looking for a house, I've got my First Front Door approval, and I've got a pre-qualification with the Dime Bank that, I know I can go out to a realtor now and start looking for homes.
Right. I find that many consumers are confused about down payments. So let's talk about the income. Can we give the listeners an idea of what the income guidelines are for First Front Door?
Sure. So it depends on the county that you're purchasing your home, and it will, right now I'm just looking, it will go anywhere from like $59,300 to $90,000. So what we would do is we would look up the addresses of the property that you're looking for, and it will give us an income, a maximum income, to see if you qualify for that. So that's the first thing that we do when we take an application for a customer that maybe is saying to us, I want to borrow as much as I possibly can of the purchase price. We will see if they will qualify for our USDA, our Home Possible, and the First Front Door.
So they don't even have to know about these programs. You put them out there.
Correct.
Okay.
We will look and we'll make sure. We have to see if they're, the property that they're purchasing qualifies for these programs. But that's the first thing we do. We'll look at those. And if they don't qualify for these programs, then we have our traditional, depending on if it's your primary residence, or your secondary residence, we have a certain percentage. Like on a primary, we can go up to 95% financing. A secondary, we can do 90% financing. And, we take a look at what they're looking to do. We ask them, do you have a certain amount that you want to put down? Are you looking to finance as much as possible? And, kind of talk about their situation, their income, and kind of fit them in a product.
So the income guidelines vary from county to county. Sometimes we have buyers that will look in two or three different counties if they find the house that they want. So it would be different in each county.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. As an example, if you were looking for a home in Scranton or Wilkes-Barre, that income limit, which is a household income,
Yes.
Would be capped at $59,300. Comparing that to Wayne County, you can make as much as $62,300. So yes, it varies county to county. They do look at household income and then also property being purchased.
Correct.
Okay, so now where you currently reside, where you're going to purchase the property. Okay, very good. And you mentioned the pre-approval for this first front door program is good for 6 months.
Correct.
Your regular pre-approvals, how long are they good for?
A pre-approval is good for 30 days.
Right.
Yes.
All right. And that shortened during COVID. That wasn't always the case.
Yeah, there were so many variables impacting real estate values. I mean, I'm sure you know better than we do, but pre-approvals today, we like to think, are a little bit more standard from a banking perspective. The effects of COVID and the pandemic have lessened over time, and I think we can with confidence say that a pre-approval is good for 30 days. Now the only question is what's happening with the rates. The Fed's doing with the rates. What are they doing? Right.
So at the time of this recording, the news out there is that they've been coming down for the last 5 weeks, right? So, but who's to say I could turn around at 3:00 this afternoon and it could be completely different, right? I mean, it's been up and down. My head's spinning.
Sure. Yeah.
If my head's spinning, what's your head doing?
They're spinning too.
Yeah. So, and it does all depend. Let's talk about rates. Because I'm sure you get it as I get it wherever I am. What's the interest rate? And the answer is?
It depends.
Okay.
It depends.
All right.
It depends on a lot of things. But it's based on the 10-year note, right? Isn't that what it's based on?
Yes.
Correct.
The Treasury?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Right. Well, and there's so many rates in banking, but yeah, our mortgage rates are tied to the 10-year Treasury note, and they're all over the place. They're up, they're down. Like you said, you look this way and you turn back and the rates have changed and adjusted. So it's an ever-changing environment. It's fluid, and there are still more things impacting what these rates are going to be. We've all heard the discussion about inflation.
Recession.
Yeah, yeah.
And depending on who you talk to, some say there's nothing going on. Everything is great. Never been better. And I mean, very few people say that. People I don't even know, but that may be located in Washington, D.C. But locally, we are feeling the effects of inflation.
Indeed. I mean, every time you go to the grocery store, they always tell you on your receipt, you got 4 items and it cost you $45. And when I look at my receipt nowadays, I'm just blown away by how much we're paying for things. And real estate is no exception in our area. And I think that we're fortunate that our area is seeing real estate values still on the rise. As of the time of this recording, real estate values are still going up in our area.
We're seeing a lot of, like you said, a lot of offers on houses. So we're doing a lot of pre-approvals and reissuing of pre-qualifications because they've made offers and they haven't gotten the offer and they're still out there looking.
Yeah, bidding wars, they aren't as much as they used to be. Yeah. Very few. I mean, there are still some, I don't want to mislead anybody. Multiple offer situations is more. Contingencies are coming back in. Inspections are coming back in. Mortgages are coming back in. At one point, cash offers, they were the ones. I mean, you saw it, right?
Yes.
If a seller is given a choice between a cash, no contingency offer and an FHA all inspection offer, even if that FHA is willing to go 10,000 higher than that cash offer, most sellers are going to go with the cash, no strings attached, right?
Right.
Sure.
I can't imagine buying a house without having it inspected. I mean, it's the biggest investment I'm ever going to make in my life, and I'm not going to have an inspector come in and tell me if it's infested with termites and it's going to fall down next week. I mean, it's just, but people get carried away, and then they get caught up in the bidding. We've seen it over and over. They get caught up in the bidding, and then they have that buyer's remorse. Oh, my God.
We had a lot of deals fall through because of
people,
that.
Yeah, they get caught up. They want to win. They win.
They win.
And then they win, and they say, oh, gee, what did I do? You know, now I have no inspections and can be up the creek without a paddle.
Well, and what we're seeing is the market of buyers is larger because inventories are down. We have a lot of out-of-state buyers along with our in-state buyers, and ultimately what happens is there's greater competition for these homes, which is driving the values up and driving the prices up, and ultimately what happens is these out-of-state buyers have more buying power because they have the ability to buy in cash in some instances. And to your point, it removes the requirement for an inspection of the home, and you can close them in 10, 15 days. So, you know, we have competition from non-normal sources, if you will, and it's just amplified in our area because of all these variables with inventory and rates and so on and so forth. So it's definitely a fluid market, and we're changing with it, and we're changing day by day. If you're not changing, you're going to get left behind.
Right. So let's recap the first front door program. Up to $5,000 closing costs. There are income limits depending on the county that the purchaser is purchasing in, right?
Correct.
And how much percent down?
You can do up to 100% financing along with this program. So basically, as long as you're closing, whatever your closing costs and a down payment is, which most times it is at least $5,000, we can, for every dollar that the buyer puts down, they will match $3.
Okay. All right. Sounds like a great program. How does someone get in touch with you at the Dime Bank, please?
So they can call me at 570-229-7575, or they can email me at mseagra, V as in Victor, ES, at thedimebank.com.
Anybody can also go to our website. We have an application portal right on our website. If somebody is interested in getting the wheels turning, they can just go right there, and ultimately that application finds its way to Melanie or another colleague of ours. And so there's multiple ways you can get in touch with us via online, via phone, via email, via text, however is convenient.
Melanie Seagraves, Vice President Mortgage Loan Originator at the Dime Bank, and Rory McGee, Vice President Banking Relationship Officer with the Dime Bank. We're headed towards a break. Pat, would you like to review a listing?
Yes. We have a 3-bedroom, 1-bath home at 508 Jessup Avenue in Dunmore for only $164,000. This home sits on a large lot with a 1-car garage and plenty of off-street parking, and it's got great views from the front porch. This lovely home has good room sizes and beautiful hardwood floors. The taxes are very low at less than $2,000 a year. So at this price, this home won't last long. So give us a call about this 3-bedroom home with the garage at 508 Jessup Avenue in Dunmore for only $164,000, and that's listed by Dan Callahan of our office.
Thank you, Pat. This week's sponsor is Comfort Spec Inspection Service, and we want to thank them. Comfort Spec Inspection Services is your one-stop shop for all your residential or commercial inspection needs. Their services include residential, commercial, structural inspections, septic and pest inspections, well water analysis, mold, air quality, and soil sampling, radon testing, and more. Comfort Spec is Northeast PA's premier home inspection service because they offer same-day digital reports, 24-hour online scheduling, appointments 7 days a week. That's a good one.
That's huge.
200% client satisfaction commitment. They ease real estate transactions by providing information to ensure safety and peace of mind. To contact Comfort Spec Inspection Services, call 570-244-2090 or visit comfortspecpa.com.
Get your home inspected, right?
Yes, very important.
Yeah, it's best money you'll ever spend.
We'll be back in a short bit with more Real Estate Roundtable with Century 21 Jack Ruddy Real Estate on 94.3 The Talker. When considering to sell or buy a home, why choose Century 21 Jack Ruddy Real Estate? Let me tell you why. 70% of home buyers settle for the first agent they meet, and many regret it. 90% of home sellers hire an agent, but was it the right choice? Don't have agent remorse. I'm Jackie Ruddy, and I've been in and around the real estate business for most of my life. And at Century 21 Jack Ruddy Real Estate, we've been selling real estate for half a century. But we do not do it halfway. You deserve better than average. Average doesn't help you. We know it's all about you and what you need. Century 21 is the #1 in brand awareness, is the most recognized name in real estate, and is the most respected in the industry. In this market, if you dream big, you need to move fast. So it makes perfect sense to contact Century 21 Jack Ruddy Real Estate, 570-344-6724, and visit jruddy.com. That's JRUDDY.com. Welcome back to the Real Estate Roundtable with Century 21 Jack Ruddy Real Estate on 94.3 FM The Talker. I'm Jackie Ruddy, broker, and with Pat Devaney, my husband, fellow realtor.
And we're back. Talking money?
Talking money.
Money. I like this show.
Rory McGee, Vice President, Banking Relationship Officer, and Melanie Seagraves, Vice President, Mortgage Loan Originator, both with the Dime Bank. Hello again.
Howdy.
Hi.
All right, so we're talking about mortgages and the opportunities that the Dime Bank offers people that are looking to buy a home. You mentioned some programs. We spent a lot of time on First Front Door the first half of the show. Let's talk about the Home Possible program that you have, please.
Sure. So we have a program that we participate in, and you can finance up to 97% of the purchase price. So based on a purchase price of $100,000, you would need $3,000 down, and you would finance the 97%. There is a maximum income, so we have 80% of the area median income. Depends on the area that you're purchasing.
The county.
The county, yep. And it's based on the borrower's income only, not the household. So that's a really nice plus for the program. It can be a purchase, it can be a refinance, or it can be a construction. It does have to be your primary residence, so it's not for a secondary. But you can have a non-occupant co-borrower. So basically that means you can have someone, say a parent, a relative, somebody on the application with you if you needed additional income that's not going to live in the home as their primary residence.
Great for first-time home buyers that maybe don't have job experience or credit established to buy their own home. They can lean on a parent or a relative in this case.
Sure, absolutely.
Okay, so on these programs, Home Possible, First Front Door, do they have to be first-time home buyers?
So this one, they do, but first-time home buyer now is anyone who has not owned a home in the last 3 years. So
could have owned 5 years ago.
Correct.
And they would qualify.
Correct.
All right.
Yes. USDA has to be first-time. Home Possible does not.
First Front Door is subject to being a first-time home buyer where you have not owned a home in 3 years. USDA and Home Possible do not require you to be a first-time home buyer.
All right. Good to know. But you could have owned, that's the important piece to this whole thing. You could have owned, but not within the last 3 years.
3 years,
All right.
correct.
And then you're considered a first-time home buyer again.
Correct.
All right. How about credit scores with these programs?
We like to see a 660 and above. Home Possible, you must have a 660. USDA, you can have a little bit lower, but it also depends on your credit history and, what's showing on your credit that we can work with you.
For this purpose, I think we just let them know, each application is so unique to the buyer. There are credit thresholds, but they can vary one way or the other depending on the other variables within the application. So generally mid 600s is where you'll need to be. But because of all those other variables, it could go either way.
Okay, so when you're doing a pre-approval, and before you do the pre-approval, you do have to do a credit score check,
yes,
right?
Correct.
Now, there's a lot of people, believe it or not, there's still people that call our office as recently as yesterday that want to see a home and are not pre-approved. I thought maybe because of the pandemic that would shift and that would eventually change and people would understand that is the first important step to take before even calling a realtor, but it appears that people still want to just see homes without a pre-approval. And sometimes their resistance is they don't want that credit check.
Credit check.
All
yes.
right. And to ding their credit. Does that really affect their score when you're pulling credit scores? Is it a hard or a soft? Those are the way to differentiate.
Yeah,
correct?
that's a hard inquiry, and generally I'll tell people those hard inquiries are going to impact your credit for the next 12 months. So after 12 months, those inquiries have less and less of an impact the farther away you get from them. But credit's such a funny thing. You'll never find anything written down about this. There's no manual that explains credit. It's just this, confusing quagmire of data and information about how you pay your bills, really. And mid 600s is kind of the target where our bank and most banks say these people are paying enough of their bills for us to consider giving them a mortgage.
Okay, so they shouldn't go to 10 different lenders.
No, because they'll pull credit 10 times.
Right. So pick who you want to work with before you get...
Good. It's good to call and talk to, get a feel for your mortgage originator, who you're dealing with, and what kind of programs they offer. But don't do a pre-qualification with several different ones because they'll pull credit and that will really bring your score down.
And I always tell people, deal with a local bank. I have had bad experiences with super duper mortgage company coming up with charges and screwing people around and nobody to talk to. With the local bank, there's a face, there's a name, there's a number, there's always somebody I can talk to. I can't emphasize that enough.
Well, and not only that, but, we've had borrowers that have worked with these nationally branded companies and they call today and they speak to one person, and then if they call back tomorrow, they're speaking to somebody else.
And you get lost in the shuffle.
Right. Well, and with the Dime Bank, you make one phone call to Melanie and she's the person you're going to be dealing with from beginning to end, and
that's great.
There's some value in that for sure.
The Dime Bank, Rory McGee and Melanie Seagraves. How does someone get in touch with you, please?
You can go out on the website, www.thedimebank.com. You can call me at 570-229-7575, or you can email me at mcgraves@thedimebank.com.
Thank you. Would you come back next week?
Absolutely.
Remember to tune in next Saturday at 11 a.m., Sunday at 11:30 a.m. to listen to more of the Real Estate Roundtable with Century 21 Jack Ruddy Real Estate on 94.3 The Talker. In your past real estate experiences, did you find most agents were mediocre? At Century 21 Jack Ruddy Real Estate, we defy mediocrity by being relentless. Don't settle for average. Contact the Relentless at Century 21 Jack Ruddy Real Estate. We have an excellent track record of serving the community for 50 plus years. Call 570-344-6724 or visit jruddy.com. That's jruddy.com.